5G use cases tend to rely on the increased speed and consistency of 5G as well as the latency reductions it offers, and they promise to disrupt both traditional and digital sector. And there are plethora of opportunities for 5G technology over the coming months, years, and decades. Let's hear more on this. We have with us Dr. Thiaw Seng, Head of Network Solutions Strategic Network Evolution Market Area Southeast Asia, Oceania and India, Ericsson, and Danish Khan, Senior Assistant Editor, The Economic Times Telecom, for a fireside chat on global 5G deployment experiences and use cases. Welcome, gentlemen. Please take the conversation ahead, Danish.
Hello, everyone. I'm Danish Khan from Economic Times Telecom. And for this fireside chat, we have Dr. Thiaw Seng from Ericsson. He is currently the regional head of network solutions, strategic network evolution in Ericsson market area, Southeast Asia, Oceania, and India. And he has more than 20 years of experience in radio access technology and working in both operator and vendor environment. He specializes in spectrum and network evolution strategy. So I think we have a lot of topics that he would be more than happy to talk about. So Dr. Seng, my first question to you is about 5G and 5G in India. And given that Ericsson is one of the key players in the Indian market, how do you see or Ericsson foresees 5G potential in India?
Thanks for the question. I think first of all, thanks for inviting Ericsson to this forum, right? And when it comes to the 5G in India, we also have some study, right? According to Ericsson's mobility report, right, the uptake for 5G is actually expected to be faster than any previous generation of mobile technology, right? 5G is on track to become the dominant mobile access technology by subscription globally by 2027, right? So by this time, 5G is expected to account for around 50% of all mobile subscription worldwide, covering almost 75% of world population, and actually carries 62% of the global smartphone traffic, right? So in India specific, 5G will account for 39% of all mobile subscription by 2027, and 4G contribution expected to decline from currently the 68% to 55% during this time frame, right? And Ericsson report also revealed that at least 40 million smartphone users in India could take up 5G in the very first year of 5G being made available, and consumer in India also willing to pay 50% more for 5G plans, which bundle with other digital services.
Every vendor is bullish on 5G. Like good amount of 5G networks have been rolled out globally. In India, what do you think will give an edge to Ericsson in the 5G era? Because a lot of telecom operators are currently in the process of preparing their network architectures, how they are going to deploy 5G. What do you think that gives an edge to Ericsson in India and globally as well?
I think it's come down to the experience that we have, right? Ericsson is currently powering 114 live network globally, which is more than half of the world's such network, right? And Ericsson power network in 51 countries, right? From a total 78 countries that have launched 5G, right? Which actually translate to more than 60% of the countries that have already launched 5G. Right? And also 5G technology is a core part of our business. We invest $4.4 billion in research and development annually, which corresponding to almost 20% of our sales, right? And around a quarter of our workforce is actually deployed in R&D activities. Okay? And when it comes to the patents, we actually hold the leading patents portfolio in the industry with more than 57,000 granted patents worldwide. And we are also the lead holder of 5G essential patents. Right? This gives us a bit of a credibility on our experience. Right?
Coming back to the Indian market, we all know that the regulatory body, the Indian government, both are planning for the spectrum auction, and which are likely auctions are likely in the second half of this year, and then obviously telcos will roll out. What are your recommendations to the Indian government before the auction takes place? Because a lot of talk is happening on the spectrum pricing, spectrum quantum, availability of various bands. Given that you have seen a lot of networks globally, what is the best practice or best protocols that you think India must follow before auctioning the precious spectrum for 5G?
These are very good questions, right? And when it comes to 5G, of course, spectrum is actually the most important element, right? And when it comes to the sort of a 5G India, we feel that there is a need for a clear roadmap on the spectrum allocation. And first and foremost, 5G must be viewed as a critical part of the national infrastructure, right? It is as vital as the trains and roads, right? And secondly, 5G technology will require a lot of spectrums. And so it's important to have more spectrum made available at a reasonable price. That it will subsequently incentivize the investment in the network deployment, right? And also, when it comes to the allocation, India should identify the entire sort of 5G spectrum band, right? Which is made available to the telco at the areas. And also when it comes to the building the high performing 5G wireless network, it will be essential for the economy and the recovery from the COVID that we have today, right? And also 5G also represent the significant opportunities to drive the digital transformation and also innovation in India that will actually cultivate the business growth and also benefiting hundreds of millions of consumers.
So according to you, what is going to be the killer app for 5G? As we speak about 5G use cases, telcos are focusing on finding out what is relevant for the Indian market. But what do you think about that killer app? Is it going to be the mobile broadband, fixed wireless access, or any other use case? What do you think will actually bring a lot of return on investment to Indian telecom operators?
Yeah, so I think 5G has been gradually rolled out in around the world, right? And actually, across the world, 5G already sort of transforming the industry by sort of kickstarting the fourth industry revolution, and of course, enriching the network experience for various business and also the end consumer, right? So with a characteristic such as the very high speed, very low latency, and high reliability, 5G will enable a new range of new service for both consumer and enterprise, right? And particularly it benefit for healthcare, manufacturing, automotive, energy and utility sector across India, right? But then they do a step back, right? Given that India is actually the region with the second highest average monthly usage per smartphone at around like 18 gigabyte per month at the end of 2021. And this will set to grow to around 50 gigabyte per month by 2027, right? So 5G in the initial stage will actually require to manage the growing data traffic from the consumer cases, right? So over time, more advanced enterprise use cases will be developed, right? And secondly, if we look at 5G, it is also play a very critical role in the digital inclusion, right? By actually reducing the digital divide with enabling technologies such as fixed wireless access, which actually allow the consumer to get a broadband connection to their home. It is actually efficient, a very convenient and competitive way to provide a broadband to the home compared to fiber, right? So this is also important for the rural and remote regions of the countries, right? Then, of course, we also have the sort of the top 5 enterprise use cases that is actually come to the industry, right? That enhance the industry. This will include enhancement in the video service. It will come to the real-time automation, monitoring and tracking type of services, connected vehicles, and also the hazard and maintenance sensing. Some of the use cases very relevant for example, the manufacturing segment, right? And similarly, also applicable for the public safety segment. Yeah.
Sure. How big is the opportunity in the enterprise space? Obviously, enterprises are looking at digital transformation, then they have various use cases as well. So for telecom operators, how big the opportunity will be that could be unlocked by the 5G technology?
we actually track very closely in sort of the 5G potential in India, right? So Ericsson has the report called the 5G Business Compass report, right? We actually estimate that the 5G enable B2B opportunity for Indian operators across the 10 industry, it will be $17 billion by 2030, right? And the 5G will actually help the mobile operators to achieve an incremental revenue growth of 48%, right? This is what the study shows, right? Then the top 10 industry actually examined in this study, including the manufacturing, the energy and utilities, the public safety, the healthcare, public transport, media and entertainment, automotive, financial service, retail, and agriculture, right? So these are the top 10 industry that will direct benefited from the 5G introduction, right? If you look at closer to the application, like I mentioned before, right? The top 5 use cases actually the video service, the real-time automation, monitoring, tracking, right? The connected vehicles, right? All these use cases very relevant for at least from a start from the manufacturing segment, and similarly for other segment as well, right? So when it comes to the manufacturing, our own sort of the 5G smart factory in Texas in US has been recognized by the World Economic Forum as the global front runner in the fourth industry revolution, right? So the forum actually awarded this site with this prestigious global lighthouse designation in recognizing Ericsson's the deployment of the next generation technology at the site, and in a subsequent impact, which actually include an impressive 2.2 times improve the output per employee when compared to the similar site without the automation, right? So we are quite proud of that, right? And some of the use cases that have been deployed in our sort of US manufacturing facilities, we actually generate a very tangible and significant business impact, including the cost reduction, improve the uptime, improve the quality, and much more, right? So the use case that actually powered by an integrated 5G, Ericsson 5G private network, and also enabled by millimeter wave, right? So this is one example, right? Another example is actually the use case that that's a partnership with Telefonica and Ericsson with the Mercedes-Benz, right? So that we actually put up the world first 5G mobile network for automobile production, right? In a Mercedes-Benz factory, they call it the Factory 56. So the use of 5G technology that allows actually the Mercedes-Benz, among all other things, to optimize the production processes in its plant with the help with a few new features, right? This include, for example, the data linking or the product tracking on the assembly line, and with a separate own network, all the processes can be actually optimized and make more robust, right? And also adapted for short notice to their market requirement, right? A further benefit of using the local 5G network is that the sensitive data production that does not actually go outside the plant. It's actually made available within the own plant itself rather than exposed to the third party. Yeah. So these are some of the sort of the potential that we see.
Yeah. Sure. Let's talk about Ericsson's commitment to India. Company is manufacturing through a contract manufacturer, and it's an investment which the company is looking to increase. How do you see Ericsson's role in Indian telecom networks, let's say in the next 4 to 5 years, given the investment it has made so far to enhance the manufacturing ecosystem as well? What do you think about that?
India is a very strategic market for us and has consistently been among the top 5 contributor to our global sales, right? And of course, it's based on the continuous investment in LTE, right? So based on our global 5G leadership and deployment experience, we look forward to help the Indian telecom operators seamlessly evolving their network from 4G to 5G, right? And Ericsson has been in India since 1903. And of course, the manufacturing plant, like you say, since 1994, right? And it has a large employee workforce, In fact, it's 23,000, right? Across all functions from design, to R&D, to manufacturing, to sales, and the managed service, right? We also participated in the PLS scheme for the industry sector through our partner Jabil, right? And being the first telecom vendor to start the manufacturing in India since 1994, the additional investment made under the PLS scheme will actually help us to scale up our Pune factories, the facilities where we are actually currently manufacturing the 4G and 5G telecom equipments, right? And the 5G radio produced at the Pune facilities are being exported from India to Southeast Asia, for example, at present, and will enable us to cater for the domestic market, and 5G is actually introduced in India. So this is our sort of commitment to India.
Right. One last question. What sort of trends you see in the Indian market, let's say in the coming 1 or 2 years after 5G gets launched? What sort of trends you expect in India? Is it going to be a quick uptake of 5G services, or industry will latch onto the 5G network? What do you see? What do you foresee about the Indian market in terms of trends?
It's actually leverage on the global mass market, right? So, for example, we see that currently the 5G chipset is actually getting cheaper, right? And also we see that the sort of the smartphone is coming down to $100 to $150 price range, which is make it to enter the mass market now, right? Secondly, we also see most the telecom operators also go into the fixed wireless access market, right? Which close up the digital divide, right? So with the availability of a large amount of spectrum, it will actually accelerate to sort of closing up the digital divide, right? Then when it comes to the manufacturing, right? And of course, it will help to sort of enable those use cases, for example, the high speed, low latency, and also this high reliability service. Many countries actually moving to this step. Then, of course, coming to the next step, of course, the more and more spectrum sort of will be refarmed for 5G, and it will provide a better speed for 5G. Right?
Dr. Thiaw Seng, thank you very much for the chat and sharing your views on the Indian market, Indian 5G scene. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Seng and Danish, for such an interesting chat session. Now let's proceed further and delve deeper into more interesting topics.